This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century. Good evening, boys and girls, scholars and laymen, and welcome to another wonderful edutainment, infotainment edition of The Artivist Thinks. I'm your host of the empowerment segment, Brother Ron, also known as R2, C2, H2, The Artivist. And before we get too far into this subject matter, let it be known, I want to send a shout out, a RIP, rest in power, rest in peace, rest in prosperity, Papa Joe Jackson, the proud patriarch of the family Jackson, the music dynasty, the man whose loins helped manifest arguably the greatest entertainer of all time, the king of pop, aka Michael Jackson, and arguably one of the all-time greats as well, entertainers. Before there was a Beyonce, there was a lady named Janet Jackson. So this is the man, the patriarch of 10 children, who gave us the Jackson 5, who changed the R&B game, who helped change the whole music landscape with his son, Michael Jackson. He passed today, Wednesday, June 27th. Just 2 days after the 9th anniversary of the passing of his son, Michael Jackson, who would have been 60 years young this come August of 2018, August 29th, 2018. Now, I think it's very important. We need a strong black first media, especially with stories like this. The white media, the white stream media, the white mediocrity system loves a black boogeyman, loves to paint a caring, supportive black man in a bad light, and Joe Jackson is no exception. You know, people say he was very abusive towards his kids and all this stuff, but although his kids did talk about the discipline in the Jackson home, he helped create a music revolution. Because he did discipline his kids. He did give them the work ethic. This is why we have a Michael Jackson. This is why we had a Jackson 5. This is why we have a Janet Jackson, a LaToya Jackson. This guy, like even LaToya said, her father made their family one of the most famous families in the world. Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, they talked about the good their father was able to instill in them. A sense of worth, ambition, vision, drive. Joe Jackson did all this. A man who came from a different generation. You know, we can't look at this generation standards and compare that man to what his generation had to go through. I mean, think about when you saw that movie Fences starring Denzel Washington, based on August Wilson's award-winning play. The black man's pain, black man's struggle, what the hell they had to go through as black men from Joe Jackson's era. My grandfather, my maternal grandfather, my paternal grandfather, World War II veterans, they seen some things. My mama's father knew of lynching, saw men lynch, took the worst effects of Jim Crow racism in this country. Joe Jackson, a black man from the Midwest, a son of the Great Depression, trying to raise his children, working as a crane operator at U.S. Steel. But yet, putting together a band called the Falcons, which he later got his 3 eldest sons to be a part of, and later his 2 youngest sons, including a young Michael Jackson, came along in the 60s, became known as the Jackson 5. Joe Jackson was no joke. Joe Jackson should be applauded, but I already know The think pieces are gearing up to make Joe Jackson some type of monster and a boogeyman, some type of Willie Horton of the music industry, you know. But think about what he was able to produce. Michael Jackson, a great humanitarian and philanthropist. Now you can say that, you know, he was a child molester, pedophile that was never proven in court. As a matter of fact, he beat the charges back in 2005. He settled out of court the earlier time. But like Joe said, they were trying to get his son. They were trying to destroy his son because his son was too damn successful. You got to think about it. Michael Jackson invented really the music video. He invented MTV, but yet MTV would not play black artists on their network. Michael Jackson invented music videos for the most part. I mean, think about the album Thriller. I mean, everybody who came after Michael Jackson owes a debt to Michael Jackson. I don't care what music genre, rock, pop, jazz, hip hop, rap, I don't care. Classical, anything after Michael Jackson, when it comes to musicality and music, owes a debt of gratitude to Michael Jackson. Then they owe a debt of gratitude to the vision of Joe Jackson. He's kind of like the Williams sisters patriarch, the patriarch of the Williams family, Venus and Serena's, the tennis greats. Their father, who was controversial for his tough love, who took it upon himself in his 40s to learn the game of tennis so he could teach it to his daughters. A man who came from Louisiana, who saw one of his friends lynched for stealing a so-called chicken, I believe. So these guys came from that era of Jim Crow, of American apartheid, of lynchism, of all that stuff, all the isms. And yet they was able to contribute to the American dialogue and narrative. They're phenomenal seeds. The black man is the father of human civilization. The black man has forgotten his rightful place in the human race. But Joe Jackson, men like him, men like John Thompson Sr., who coached Georgetown, who when his son became a coach and had some early success in his coaching career, the white industry, the white stream media wanted to give credit to his son's coaches and not to his father, one of the greatest college basketball coaches of all time, one of the greatest basketball minds of all time. They didn't want to give his father any credit for having an effect on his son being successful in basketball coaching early on. But getting back to Joe Jackson, it is amazing to me that Las Vegas is the home to so many weird deaths of famous and talented black men. So many brilliant, talented, and successful black men have died strange deaths in Las Vegas. They said that Joe Jackson had a bout with pancreatic cancer that was the cause of his death, but they haven't released anything at the time of this recording I'm doing. I'm not sure, but they say it's pancreatic cancer he was dealing with. But think about all the prominent black men, some infamous black men who have died in Las Vegas under questionable circumstances. You have Joe Jackson, the patriarch of the Jackson family. You had last year Prodigy of Mobb Deep, one of Tupac's nemesis and rivals. But Prodigy, the hip hop legend, dying in Las Vegas, supposedly choking off an egg. Then you had Tupac, who got killed from the effects of a drive-by in Las Vegas after a Tyson fight. Then who couldn't forget B.B. King in 2015? You know, where his family thought it was foul play involved, but they couldn't prove anything officially. Never forget Sonny Liston, one of the baddest heavyweights of all time, the Bear. The guy that scared a young Cassius Clay, but Cassius ended up overcoming as he became comfortably known to the world as Muhammad Ali. He died crazy. Think about the jazz great tenor sax giant Wardell Gray, found with a broken neck in the middle of the desert out in Vegas. So many black men, so much talent, so many weird unsolved endings, and add Joe Jackson to that list. But let's not think about how he died at this moment. Let's pay tribute to how he lived. Whether you loved or hate him, he made for a very fascinating interview. Very fascinating interview. And I just want to say this. I just want to give props from Janet Jackson. Let you know how she felt about her father just a couple of days ago doing an acceptance speech at Radio Disney Awards ceremony. This is during an acceptance speech at a Radio Disney Awards ceremony. My mother nourished me with the most extravagant love imaginable, she said. My father, my incredible father, drove me to be the best I can. My siblings set an incredibly high standard, a high bar for artistic excellence. This is what Janet Jackson thought of her father. This is what she thought of her father. And this is what Joe Jackson thought about how the way he disciplined his children. And also they were Jehovah's Witnesses, which was interesting. Growing up, the Jacksons were Jehovah's Witnesses. But this is what he thought about how he raised his children. I'm glad I was tough because look what I came out with, he said. I came out with some kids that everybody loved all over the world. And they treated everybody right. Like I said, Michael Jackson is one of the world's greatest philanthropists and humanitarians. No, we are the world. We are the ones. All that stuff. Raising money, giving money away to charities, Make-A-Wish, HBCUs, all that stuff. It's like Bill Cosby. But it is interesting that he became a target of white mediocrity. That they could not create a white artist that was better than Michael Jackson. They had to do some devilish tricks to make him transform his image to conform to their expectations. See, Michael Jackson, he suffered from a sickness dealing with the white inferiority system. He was brilliant. He was phenomenal. Arguably the greatest entertainer of all time. But, his father was just as much a victim of this white mediocrity system as much as any person of color. And given that, you got to give Joe Jackson his props. I already hear people coming out with the thought pieces, the hit pieces on Joe Jackson. Look what he's able to accomplish, y'all. He built a dynasty. He built like a musical dynasty. With the Bushes and Kennedys out of politics, he made the Jackson family dead in music. A legendary dynasty. And he had his wife. It's like, it reminded me, their relationship, his wife and Catherine and him, they was together for a long, long time. They might not have lived in the same place or in the same spaces for decades, but they stayed together in their own way. Just like Baba Dick Gregory and his wife had their own way of staying together. And it's interesting, Baba Dick Gregory was a close friend of Michael Jackson and the Jackson family. And he, mentored Michael Jackson, helped him on his way. And Baba Dick Gregory would joke that when the refrigerator would come on, or when Michael Jackson opened up the refrigerator and light come on, he started performing. Because Michael Jackson was not like everybody else. He was not an ordinary person. He was an extraordinary person, exceptional human being, truly, in the words of Duke Ellington, beyond category. And so it's like when I think about how they made a caricature out of Joe Jackson, it reminds me of Ike Turner. People don't remember Ike Turner for being a father of rock and roll music, a music pioneer, a music genius, the guy who arguably recorded the first rock and roll song, Rocket 88, based on an Oldsmobile car. They don't remember that Ike Turner, who was the talent scout for Sun Records, the one who Elvis Presley idolized. They remember this Ike Turner, who was a boogeyman. That movie, What's Love Got to Do With It, was a character assassination piece. It destroyed the legacy and the perception of Ike Turner, who was a music genius. If Tina Turner thought this man was so horrible, why did she keep his last name? You got to ask yourself that question. If he was such a horrible person, why did Tina Turner family have so much love for Ike to the end? Even they said he was mischaracterized. Even Tina Turner said they over-exaggerated the so-called abuse that Ike Turner laid on her. But when black folks, when people in general, and black folks in particular think about Ike Turner, they don't think about his phenomenal musical contributions. They think about the exaggerated abuse he had towards Tina Turner. Now, I wasn't there, but I'm just going by what people have said about the situation. Like, you know, Ike Turner tried towards the end to rehabilitate his image. He was blackballed, basically, in the industry. When he wrote his autobiography, a lot of the distribution was blocked on his autobiography. So he couldn't even get the word out in written form. And I remember my mama saw him some years ago before he died. She was at a rental-car place near the airport, and she recognized him. Or she thought, you know, hey, your IE was dressed up, you know, like an entertainer. I think he had on some leather jacket and leather pants, and he looked like somebody that was very distinguished. He had pride about himself, and he had his, like, you know, he had his little fade, you know, he had his hair dyed, he had his goatee. And my mom went up to him and said, "Are you Ike Turner?" He said, "Yes, I'm Ike Turner." And she was really the only person to recognize who he was at the rental-car place. But she had a lot of respect for the man. She knew his greatness, and she gave him his props, and I think it made him feel good about himself. I think he really felt good that somebody recognized him, not as a monster, but as a human being. So y'all should do yourselves a favor. Once you stop listening to this, take a look. It's all online. Search out the real information on Ike Turner. Search it out, and you'll be surprised what you find. And with my understanding, Ike Turner wasn't into drugs like that. If he caught you using drugs in the band early on, you got kicked out the band. He didn't want people using drugs in the band. So all the problems happened when he started using drugs. And they would say that Tina Turner would have these white men come to her during rehearsals or when they're about to perform or whatnot, or after they perform, try to get her to leave the Ike Turner band and go on her own. She said, "No, I'm not going to leave this band because Ike is the manager. If you want me to do anything with you all, you got to talk to Ike. He managed everything. He was the boss." But once he started slipping on them drugs, that's when he lost control of his band. That's when he lost control of reality. You know, fortunately, he was able to bounce back out of that, but, you know, the damage was done. But what that movie did, it over-exaggerated what really happened. And that's why it's so important that we reclaim the narrative, that we tell her perspective, his perspective, our perspective. Our perspective needs to be told from us. This is why I do We All Be, to tell the story that needs to be told from us, about us. Black First Media. There's not too many outlets out there like this. I'm trying my best to produce and keep it pushing. You know, it's amazing to me that people can be so prolific. They're saying stuff, but they're not saying anything at all. I'm trying to be thoughtful as much, but I just want y'all to not accept what the mainstream media is going to say about Joe Jackson, but to do your due diligence, to do your own research, to be your own advocate for truth and actual factuals. Don't let these folks slip you the okie doke. Donald Trump already proved these folks to be fake news folks. Fake news bozos. Look up, once again, Operation Mockingbird. I'm dropping all this information all day, every day. I want y'all to give me my props. Let those listens, let them likes go up. Share this information, but support what we're doing. Because ain't nobody on the planet, in the country, doing what I'm trying to do for the masses. No, y'all don't even understand. Nobody knows the trouble. Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows. So please support. People tell me all day long, Brother Ron, we love you. We support what you're doing. But I don't know. Do y'all? Do y'all really? I mean, because I'm telling y'all, man, Stop letting these folks pick your heroes and sheroes, or your heroes and sheroes. Stop thinking that everybody that you supposed to respect and admire gonna have a picture perfect personal life. This life is hell. This is actually hell on earth. Y'all don't even know that. Y'all scared to die. Like people say they want to go to heaven, but they're afraid to die. Not realizing that you in hell. You in hell. Okay? Because y'all act like that the world changed so much since Donald Trump became president. It was ghettos before there was Donald Trump in office. And more than likely there will be ghettos and projects and all type of suffering after Donald Trump left office. So this is bigger than this. But what I want us to do, I want us to heal. Heal with the truth of who we are. Heal with knowledge of self. Now I'm going to do what I can do for as long as I can do it under the circumstances. Cause God knows my troubles. God knows my sorrows. God knows my pain. God knows my doubts. But that's not even important, because what is most important is that I could either break down from the pressure, or I could become a diamond or a pearl. Diamonds and pearls. Okay, in the process. But I'm doing my God work. But yeah, I just want y'all to peep game on Joe Jackson. He did not believe that his son was a pedophile. I just think Michael Jackson was Peter Pan in a world that wasn't made for a Peter Pan. You know, he said he never had a childhood. He was always working. Brother was working since he was a little toddler. He was always working. So he never took a break. He had that work ethic. But Joe Jackson, like I said, he's a son of the Great Depression. You know, he had that fear of starving, a fear of not having enough to support his family. And that shit is real. But I'm saying black fathers matter. Black fathers matter. Think about it, y'all. Y'all keep on saying single women can do this all by yourself, independent. But we're not independent. We're interdependent. We all need each other. We're a community. We're a village. Black fathers matter. Father figures are needed. I just told you 2 examples. Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Jackson 5. The Williams sisters' father, John Thompson. John Thompson gave Allen Iverson another chance. Here's a black father figure giving a son from another mother and another daddy another chance. Nobody was even looking for Allen Iverson after he got in trouble with the law or over some BS. But John Thompson, a black man, was in position to give this brother redemption. That's the power of black fathers, of a black man. So, and let me further add, it was Joe's Jackson vision, the Jackson 5, his magnum opus, that provided the blueprint for the boy bands of the future. Bands like New Edition, Boys to Men, and yes, even The Right Stuff. Not just the Backstreet Boys, but New Kids on the Block, Justin Timberlake's band, you know, all these boy bands that came a couple of decades later. Joe Jackson's Jackson 5 was the blueprint for those bands. So give the man his due. He is more than just a punchline to a bad joke. He is a legend. He is a legend because, if anything else, he produced arguably the greatest entertainer of all time. And a spare, or another heir, Janet Jackson, who basically, no Janet Jackson, no Beyonce, no Michael Jackson, no pop music up to date. I mean, not just pop music, but all genres of music. And you got to thank the Patriarch, Joe Jackson. It's like another famous Joe, a very powerful family, the Kennedys. The Jackson family are to music what the Kennedys are to politics. And both of their patriarchs were controversial, brilliant, driven, visionary man by the name of Joseph. See how it works? Somewhere. With that said, I'll talk some more about Joe Jackson, but I just want to put that out there for food for thought. Bomb first, Black First Media, and know that the best is yet to come. If you like the words from Brother Hurd, please spread the word. Subscribe to We All Be TV YouTube channel, youtube.com/WeAllBeTV. Please support the movement. Donate. You can make a one-time or recurring donation via PayPal. Email address r2c2h2@gmail.com. And the donation is tax deductible. And also, you can support us through the patreon.com/weallbe. Have not forgot about my Patreon family. I'm going to feed y'all very soon. Know that the best is yet to come. But I'm just trying to survive these hard times. Hard times. Hard times. I promise the stuff I'm going through right now probably going to be a best-selling book and a movie. So let it be known. But please, family, thanks so much for your time, your patience, your consideration, your love, your embrace. Thank you for sending out those positive vibrations and blessings and love amplifications my way. I receive it all in the words of prosperity and greatness. So in the words of Duke Ellington, we love you madly. Keep on producing and pushing. God bless you, Brother Joe. You did your thing. Now it's time to go home.